GearNetwork.com.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm here to let you know that this podcast is sponsored by our store through Amazon. If you visit GearNetwork.com and click on the Amazon banner, it will take you directly to Amazon.com, and you can do all of your Amazon shopping. If you want it, Amazon has it at often the greatest prices, and it can be delivered right to your front door. And when you use it, you tell Amazon that we're referring you to them for your shopping, so they kick the network back a little something to help out with our production costs. There legitimately is no extra cost to you, and this legitimately helps out the Gear Network when you shop through our link. That's on GearNetwork.com. Click the Amazon banner, bookmark, save, and share. If you use it, please accept our thanks. If you do not use it, please consider doing so. Again, that is GearNetwork.com, and click on the Amazon banner at the top.
It's Get Ready America on the Gear Radio Network.
Is this thing on?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Holy
Seriously.
crap. Holy crap. I think it's working.
Yeah, right.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Not only did the podcast not record properly, but then our intro telling you that the podcast didn't record properly didn't record.
I'll tell you what, guys,
properly.
it's my fault. It's my
I'll tell you this. Yeah, with this. Okay, so what happened here is we lost about 20% of the podcast when we recorded, because we tried something new. We tried to be innovative, and we tried to have this radio show sound like a radio show.
It's probably because we were trying to tickle the laziness that we all have, and in terms of just wanting to be able to record the podcast live, do everything in one spot. That's cool.
Right.
That's awesome. It's wonderful.
Right.
But excuse me. On the flip side of things, if we do it that way, the podcast is done right then and there. You save the file, go upload it. There's no saving it through the programs and waiting for everything to go through. You just boom, done. Everything's good to go. And I guess that kind of bit us in the ass. Right.
It sure did. So the pre-show part of it was cut out. So Ryan Wolfe from Better Alive Than Dead is our guest this week.
Hello.
He already said hello to you at least like 5 times, but now this is the second. I'm so goddamn frustrated right now with this thing.
I'm good.
I'm sure you're good. You're always good.
It is what it is.
I know,
it is what
it's
it
funny
is.
to sing.
And the listeners should appreciate it, because, I mean, everything we try, we're just trying to find ways to put out a better, product for you, a better listening experience. So everything is trial and error, and, really laugh about it because it's funny.
Because at some point in time, the goal is, I know, but talking to you, John, the goal is at some point in time to be able to have a live show where we can sit down here and have, the Dawn's computer, have, Twitter, Facebook up, and people can say, oh, hey, I saw the story that I want to hear you guys talk about it.
Right.
Or, oh, hey, that what Dawn said was hilarious, or John laughing like a little girl is funny.
Yes.
Stuff like that. That we want to be able to do that at some point in time, but right now we have to fall on our face a few times, and
we are learning. I mean, case in point, the biggest fall on my face thing, and it's not as bad as it was for episode 20 when we had everybody here.
Yeah.
And just my mic just did not work the entire podcast. Oh, it was the best. Dawn still listens to that podcast. She's like, this podcast is better without him.
Look how far. Like I was telling you, I had a podcast once where I sat next to Lewis and had to yell in his face for an hour.
Yes, I do remember that.
With one microphone. That was beautiful.
I'm sure. Oh, yeah. We had to do a phone segment even.
Yep.
When I called in for something on your show, but you had to do it from your phone.
Yep.
So it sounded like two phone calls. Like,
it sounded like one giant phone, just garbage phone. Yeah.
So, anyways, what you're going to hear now is you're going to hear the normal show open, which is funny, and then you're going to hear some music, and then it's going to jump right into something else. So I apologize for that. We'll do better next time.
You know what it was? Because you tried to play the music too long, like I told you. That's
always
not
John's
meant
fault.
for this podcast. That's somebody else's podcast with the stupid music.
No,
playing
that's the music playing continuously through. I usually go about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes with the song playing in the background.
You're usually good for about 2 minutes.
Oh.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is a shoot. Bang,
bang, mother effer. You, Don. Cue the music. This is a Gear Network production.
I'm convinced Magic Johnson has approximately 73 teeth in his mouth.
People say LeBron flops. Have you ever seen this little French woman named Tony Parker? French woman.
Wesley Matthews complains about every foul. Just go eat donuts on the bench, you fat.
Fat 6% body fat.
Can we make a special called I Hate Jalen Rose because I hate Jalen Rose?
Jimmy Butler looked so ugly, bruh. Looked like a face you put on a totem pole, bruh. Looking like a tiki mask, bruh.
Jeremy Lin is worth probably a half jar of mustard pickles. You're worth a half jar of mustard pickles.
Reggie Miller can't dress for Really?
Draymond Green looked like Donkey from Shrek.
Zach Randolph is not so much in basketball shape. Rather, he is a basketball shape. Yes, I just called him fat. Hashtag sports. Side.
Mark Jackson is easily the most annoying voice on television. Well, then there's Jeff Van Gundy.
Yo, Jeff Van Gundy, a fool. LOL. I is.
Andrew Bogut is so ugly. He might be the infamous Bigfoot. Well, I guess we found him.
Imagine the damage Steph Curry would be doing in the NBA if he didn't have such a girly name. Hashtag change it to Steve. Steve's a terrible name. Oh, shoot, that's my coach's name.
DeAndre Jordan looks like that uncle at a cookout that sticks his fork in your plate. Well, I think that sharing is caring, so you, Joey Fly.
Goodbye, Blake Griffin, you soft ginger hair-colored Lindsay Lohan freckled-faced two-headed bitch. Take your ass home, bitch. Wow, all caps, huh? Maybe we're throwing some lowercase next time.
Remember when Kobe Bryant used to dunk and it wasn't a surprise? Now, every time he dunks, it's a big deal.
Hi, everybody. This is Archie Bell, and these are the Dreads from Houston, Texas. And we are here to let you know that we ain't got no time to lose. So I want everybody to get up and boogie to a brand new group. Come on, let's groove.
Coming to you live from the Gear Network studios in Rochester, New York, and broadcast worldwide on GearNetwork.com. This is Get Ready America.
And from coast to coast, continent to continent, and border to border, from China to Canada to Japan to now Kazakhstan, this is GearNetwork.com, and this is Get Ready America. JCDC here with you, and as we alluded to in the pre-show there, we did have some audio issues. Bits and pieces had to be chopped out, and unfortunately, there's going to be some areas that are going to sound very broken. We're going to go ahead and we are going to lower the music down right now and kick it off to a portion of the podcast where Dawn herself was responding in a similar fashion to the way I was responding to a podcast made about us, about a former friend on a different network right here on Get Ready America.
Batman
was on a different podcast on a different network and alluded to the fact that myself, Dawn, and Perez our falling out stemmed from his character change, leaving us as a stable and going off and becoming Tylicious. And that was the reason that all of a sudden that there was an anger-filled response from myself and from Dawn and from Perez. I responded saying, that's not true. I got my side out of it. Dawn, I'm giving you the forum now if you'd like to respond.
Yeah.
Stage is yours.
Just first say the reason why I did not want to put out the last podcast that we originally recorded was not because I gave a very honest, detailed, overview of what happened. It's because I honestly felt like I gave it too much time and emotion, more than it deserved, more than they deserved. They don't deserve for me to give that lengthy of a response or that much detail of my own life. So basically, let me just say, the reason why there was a fallout was not what he said. It's just not what he said. So once again, a lie, fakeness, no surprise there. Has nothing to do with wrestling. As far as being angry for what was said towards him and his wife, he addressed that he was angry or whatever, and, how could we say these things about him and especially his wife? Let me break it down for you, dude, because apparently you're clueless here. It is nothing different than what everybody else has said about you and your wife, including the friendships that you've recently rekindled with some people who shall remain nameless, said the same thing about you and worse about your wife, and you decided to rekindle that friendship. So don't come out there and pretend like you're so hurt over what was said about your wife, because you let all kinds of people talk your wife, and you're not man enough to stand up for her. So that being said, the only real difference, the reason why you can't take this, is because we're real enough to say what we feel and not hide behind any fakeness. So I'll come right out and I'll tell you how I feel. I'm not going to hide and talk behind your back and then smile in your face like you guys do. Like you guys go and talk about me and John and Lewis and your newfound brother, cousin, whatever you want to call him, that you talk shit about behind his back. Or, you know, your friends from OSPW that you talk crap about. None of that. I'm just real. So that's what your problem is that you can't take that. You'd rather I go say it behind your back so that you can pretend like it's not really happening. You know, if you have something to say, Rob, you have something to say, she has something to say, you guys have something to say to me or about me, you know how to get a hold of me, go ahead. So in closing, I just want to say all of this is old and irrelevant. It's an old-ass story. It's been rehashed almost as much as the NEW story has been rehashed. And quite frankly, it's just ridiculous. Just shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear about this stupid story anymore. You guys were fake. You were fake friends. You were bad friends. You weren't there for us, and that's the problem. End of story. So, will there ever be a chance at friendship? No. Obviously not. You're fake. I'm not friends with fake people. Let's move on.
Wow. All right. I mean, it's, you know what? All sides have been covered. Perez talked about it on Better Live Than Dead last week. He made a mention of that. I made a mention of it this past Thursday. You now, as far as we are concerned, the subject is deader than NEW at this point. So there's no need to further bring it up. The real reason is out there. I put it out there because I don't care. And Dawn made mention of it too. And that's that. So whoever's going to sit here and think that we're assholes, you know, thanks for listening. We're assholes. For those that understand and know the truth, thanks for listening. We're still assholes. So, all right, we went pretty good. Went a pretty good segment there. So let's do the first commercial block. Then we'll come back. Ryan, we'll talk a little bit about the horse racing.
Okay.
And we
can talk a little about the Stanley Cup Finals. There's a minute and a half left in the game.
Yes, okay. But
also, dude got a TKO in the UFC tonight with his sweet chin music.
Seriously?
I'll show you in the break.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, before we go ahead and do go to the commercial break, let's go ahead and there it is. Give you a quick word about MLB.TV. Gear Network is proud to be a brand new affiliate of MLB.TV. Right now, you can go to our website, click the MLB.TV banner, and sign up for the premium package for the rest of the season for $99.99. With that, you'll have access to all of the games, and as a premium member, you will also get the award-winning MLB At-Bat app free for your phone, so you can take the goodness with you everywhere you go. It is another easy way to support our podcast, and a very easy way for you to follow your teams. I have it. Do it now.
You're listening to Get Ready America on the Gear Radio Network.
Thank you. Good night now.
Okay, listeners, so you hear us talking all the time about visiting the website for all of the podcast or Amazon shopping needs, but you are often not on your desktop to bring up the browser and visit. You ask us for a better way to take gear with you, and now we have that for you. Introducing the Gear Network app. Take the power of the Gear Network with you wherever you go. Listen or download all Gear Network programming, including Better Live Than Dead, Get Ready America, The JC Money Show Uncensored, Talking Wrestling, and others. You can also shop Amazon, post on our wall, follow our favorite local sports teams, and access all our social network profiles and so much more. And best of all, it's free. Zip, zilch, cost you nada. Visit GearNetwork.com on your phone's browser and click on the banner to download the app to your Android device. iOS people, don't fret, yours is coming soon. Give it a download and take us with you wherever, okay? Okay, that's GearNetwork.com's app through GearNetwork.com.
Here's John and Dawn.
And Ryan Wolfe, too, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Get Ready America.
Hello.
And yes, this is actually Finn Balor's theme music. Why are you waving at them?
Maybe people could see me. Maybe.
Nobody can see you.
You know what? Maybe like Stevie Wonder. Like maybe someone's blind and they can hear my hand waving in the microphone.
You know what?
Although Stevie Wonder is not blind.
Stevie Wonder's blind. You take that back. He's blind.
Stevie ain't blind.
Dawn?
Next thing
Quick question.
you're going to tell me Ray Charles isn't
John?
Ray Charles is no longer with us.
Have some respect.
Have some respect for
John, quick question.
Go ahead.
Why would a blind man wear a watch?
Why would they wear a watch?
Why does Stevie Wonder wear a watch? He's blind.
Man, it's a designer statement.
Why would it matter? He's blind.
You just said he wasn't blind.
I know, but I'm just asking one of the many questions that have been brought up. Why?
In case somebody's like, hey, what time is it?
How would he even know he had a watch on, though? He's blind.
Listen, have you ever seen the some of the retweets that I've done from It's Stevie Wonder, ITZ,
Yeah,
Stevie Wonder?
That's pretty good.
All it is somebody that's doing a parody Stevie Wonder account, obviously, and he's just keyboard mashing with like loads of spaces in there, and every tweet gets like seriously 1,000 retweets.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there are some times where some people will go out of their way to find things and be like, look at Stevie ain't blind. Like, look at this video of him at like the Music Awards in 1997. He clearly walks across the stage by himself. How can he do it if he's blind? Why does he wear a watch? Like, why would, why this, why that? I'm like, you know what?
You're a regular everyday Jesse the Body Ventura.
I'm nowhere near him. Nowhere near
Why
him.
would Stevie Wonder walk across the stage on his own? Isn't he blind, Gorilla? Doesn't he have a watch on? Well, he can't tell time because he doesn't know what the numbers look like.
Horrible.
That's Jesse circa 1980 something when he was talking to Gorilla Monsoon.
Go Google, anybody listening to, go Google, I think it was through Deadspin. Deadspin did a thing on Stevie Ain't Blind, and there's just videos, photos, evidence everywhere. Like,
I would rather search.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Do yourself the favor. You'll laugh.
All right, I'll do that.
By the way, real quick, Tampa Bay just sealed up Game 2.
They sure did. They
4-3.
Now it is tied 1-1. So
and Tampa may be in trouble because Ben Bishop may be hurt or have crap-filled pants. Either way, they're in trouble.
Don, let me go back to that Jesse the Body thing from the 80s. Listen, Jesse the Body always used to get irritated because every time Gorilla Monsoon would use big, medical terminology for the body parts that, someone would elbow. Like, Greg the Hammer Valentine once elbowed Ricky Steamboat, and he said, he caught him in the external occipital protuberance.
This is so irrelevant.
And shut up, Don. And then he's like,
did you just tell me to shut up?
I think I've done that about 3
Don't make
times.
me jump across this.
I would love to see you jump across this.
I think
John's
feeling a little froggy.
I was kind of feeling a little frisky, but hey, well, whatever.
Just let me get out the room before you guys do anything, okay?
Whatever. All right, Ryan, you said before the podcast began that you had some wrestling type questions or things you want to ask me.
Oh yeah, there's I don't know how often,
I know a thing or two about wrestling.
I don't know how often you read Cage Side Seats, but obviously we're hitting around that time of the year where it's SummerSlam, and usually it's they build up to WrestleMania, and then they build up to SummerSlam, then build up to WrestleMania. So we're going to start seeing some kind of guys pop up to set up some storylines for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I saw the rumored card was something along the lines of Rock and Triple H, which we saw at last year's WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll probably happen. Rock and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie and Triple H. Whatever, I'm fine with it.
I'm thinking Rock Triple H.
Absolutely. Or they may be involved somehow because they're going to want that angle for more promotion and all that stuff.
I would think so.
You're going to have Sting and Undertaker,
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar and Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I'm kind of whatever about because if it's Austin's last match,
mm-hmm.
why be against Brock Lesnar?
Because it could have been anybody at this point, but it's at Dallas Stadium.
Yep.
And it's going to be in front of 100,000 people. It wouldn't have mattered if they would have thrown, if CM Punk was there still, if they would have thrown him at him, or if they would have thrown Barry Hardy at him, he'd have done it, I would think.
Well, the thing I'm confused about is you can't go into that match thinking Austin goes over. That's why I'm saying why Stone Cold Steve Austin. Whoever they put up against Brock Lesnar, he's going to destroy, because here's the thing. Now, if you look at it the way how they put him over Undertaker and how they booked him ever since, they're booking him like a monster because he's unbeatable. He beat the guy who was unbeatable, now making him unbeatable. So if Austin beats Brock and then leaves, you've done a disservice complete to the story you told about Brock Lesnar.
Yes and no, I think, because I can understand the premise of Stone Cold Steve Austin being the toughest SOB ever in the WWE. So I get that while The Undertaker was unstoppable at WrestleMania,
unbeatable.
He went into that match looking very old and very beaten down. He almost looked like Terry Funk that match.
Yeah.
And Steve Austin still, to this day, looks like Steve Austin. He's been out of the ring for 10 years now, I believe, at this point, maybe a little longer. He's done the DDP. He's done DDP yoga. He beefs up and beefs down for his acting roles and everything. He's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, well, the thing is, too, I'm not sure if you saw, I didn't catch the entire interview, but I saw the highlights. His podcast with Paul Heyman, where Paul Heyman started kind of dropping the bomb on him, was like, hey, you want to do this. Like, if you want to do this, Brock will do it.
Yeah.
I know that's a planted seed. They want to try to get
absolutely.
It's almost like they use the podcast now to their advantage, like WWE uses the podcast to their advantages to kind of plant ideas for stories that they want to tell.
Yes.
And if the fans pop, they're like, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
As Macho Man, I can't do it. It's like seeing local feds do, like you said all the time, like Doink the Clown or Ultimate Warrior. You just can't, just don't do it.
Right.
Like, come on.
Right. It's junk. So, all right. Well.
Oh, hey, one more real quick question for you.
Okay.
One more. I'm not gonna get off wrestling, get back on wrestling, because that'd be bad for the podcast.
You do that. That's okay.
There was a book.
Dawn looks like she's having a blast right now.
She might smash the beer bottle over our heads because we're just going off right now.
She might give me a stone cold stunner.
I would pay to see that. There's a rumor that, well, it wasn't a rumor, it was in a book. There's an Attitude Era book out now. It's like $25 at Barnes & Noble. It looks really good. It's a really thick book. You get a Stone Cold Austin 316
I really appreciate
bottle
that you
opener.
knew the price of it.
I went to go buy it. I almost went to buy it, yes. I
should have bought it off Amazon, you tool.
I haven't bought it yet. That's where I'm going to buy it.
There
you can
go.
get it for
a
lot cheaper on Amazon.
I take the tool comment back.
But in the book, there was a quote saying that Austin and Vince McMahon almost booked Austin Sting for WrestleMania 19.
I did hear about that.
That would have been like fantasy booking at its finest right there.
I did hear about that. And you know what? Well, I was happy as hell to see Sting in the ring, in a WWE ring. I really wish he would have come there sooner instead of wasting his time, I think, in TNA. Because, you talk about WCW folded in 2000. And it is 2015, and then they kind of rehashed it.
Well, it was almost like Sting, too, was that guy who prided himself. It doesn't matter if he wrestled in some guy's barn for 20 people. He was that guy that forever was the one wrestler who never caved into the pressure, never went to the Fed, and then finally he did. But, I mean, I think the time was right. But he should have, looking back on it, if he could have done it differently, probably would have been a lot nicer if he came back when WCW folded, because he could have had... I mean, he's a WWE Hall of Famer no matter what, because they're going to put him in. But I mean, it would have been nice to see a couple good runs out of him, and to see him wrestle in the closing of the Attitude Era. Yeah. That would have been pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Dawn, what are your thoughts on wrestling?
I have none.
You have none?
No.
Not even just a shoot saying it sucks.
No.
That's not even a shoot. That's mostly the truth.
You know what I did just notice during that whole interview?
What's that?
That Ryan has on a goddamn Boston Red Sox t-shirt.
Yeah, he is
here in a Boston Red. I mean, that's bold. He just walked right up in here and he's like, "Boom! Look at my shirt."
But you got to give me credit though, because there's a lot of Red Sox fans, quote unquote fans out there, that will abandon the team while they're terrible. Where I'm walking around. I'll be on Twitter. You see me on Twitter. Hashtag Red Sox all the time. I understand they're terrible and I'm fine with it. I'm just like, you know what? It's a long season. You got to write it out. And if they're good, they're good. If they're bad, I'm not going anywhere.
Yep.
Well, I will say this. You are, I think, the only person in the world that has come here in any sort of Red Sox gear. No doubt.
I'm honestly
no doubt. You are in enemy territory.
I'm in the annals of Gear Network history.
Annals, huh?
Well, I was going to say annals, but I had a feeling you were going to go that route, so I just did it for you.
Hey, boy, we don't like your kind around here. Get out of my anal.
I love being able to do that.
This is why we don't give John cool things.
Listen. You know what? My dogs ruin everything, so I at least have to have something.
Will you
nice
do me a
that they can't
favor?
ruin.
I assume you have some sort of soundboard set up right there.
A little bit, yeah.
Will you do
They
me a
only
favor?
allow me like 6 sounds at a time.
For the future podcast, will you get Stone Cold just saying what, and just throw that in there?
I could probably.
Because there's nothing that pisses someone off more than when they're talking, and you sit there and you just start hitting what. You don't even respond. Just keep hitting.
You could be like talking about food and listing the different things that you
like. Oh, I really like carrots, man, and you're just exactly like that, you know.
Well, more would be like, let's see. I like carrots, and there was rice there.
Yeah, but that's just stupid.
You're nasty.
If you all could see the look on John's face, he was sad there, genuinely sad there.
I know, because he finds that so funny.
I do.
That is the funniest thing in the world.
No doubt, every appearance that I've made on Better Live Than Dead has had some form of fart on there. And there's never been a fart sound on there after or, before me or after me.
I did tell John, once we get a soundboard set up, I need him to send me a clip of a fart for it, just so we can randomly throw farts in whenever we want to. It's his imprint on the brand.
All right. Let's end that on a positive yet stinky note there. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will have Dawn's news you may or may not be able to use. It, and maybe a few other things before that, who knows. We're just going with the flow, people. Going with the flow, right, Dawn? Say something, damn it.
Oh my gosh, just go to commercial.
Oh, Lord.
You're listening to Get Ready America on the Gear Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Perez here, telling you about FanDuel's one-day fantasy baseball leagues. Every day you pick the player you want, you can pick a whole team, and play for real money against other users. FanDuel has over 20,000 one-day leagues, so joining in is never an issue. Also, there's no daily commitment, so you play whenever you want. The best part? Over $2 million in prizes every single day. And if you sign up through GearNetwork.com/FanDuel, you help support the network and keep this podcast free.
Hey, Dawn, how's it going?
Living the dream. I'm actually just getting ready to do this commercial.
Oh, you mean the commercial where I tell our listeners to tune into Gear Network every week to listen to our show, Get Ready America, that one?
Yeah, John, that's the one.
They can also listen to us talk about news, sports, whatever's on our minds, that.
And a little of what's on our listeners' minds, but they're just too nice to say it.
Well, that, Dawn, is a real humdinger. Come join us this and every week for Get Ready America exclusively on the Gear Radio Network.
And the Gear Network app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I am Ryan Wolfe.
It's Mr. Perez.
And I have a question for you, Perez.
What's your question?
Do you like to listen to people talk about sports?
No. Of course I like sports and listening to people talk about sports.
Well, guess what? I have the perfect solution for you.
Solution for me?
There's a podcast on this very network.
This network?
Every single week you can hear it.
Really?
New content, latest and breaking news. We talk about baseball, football, hockey, basketball, soccer, UFC, whatever you want to talk about.
So sports in general.
They talk about sports in general. You got it.
I like it.
You know the dictionary.
I like
it. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
I must say, tune in. We are Better Live Than Dead.
You're not. Every
single week. You're not going to want to miss it. Exclusively here on the Gear Radio Network.
From the Gear Network studios, once again, here's John and Dawn.
And welcome back, everybody, to Get Ready America. You know what? I was supposed to do this before we went to commercial, but I'm going to actually come back from the commercial with another commercial here. I'd like to tell you about our friend Eric and IndyCard Media. The IndyCard Media is a local business that specializes in making quality designs for your site or your business at great prices. Need proof? Look at all of our logos. The Get Ready America logo, Ryan and the Better Live Than Dead logos. Those are sweet. The Gear Network logo itself is badass, and if you think that's awesome, wait until you see what they did with the Beyond the Smoke and maybe even the Talking Wrestling logos. Eric has worked magic for this network, and he can do the same for you. Visit Facebook.com/IndyCardMedia to see all of his designs, and give him a shout at IndyCardMafia@gmail.com and bring your design to life. Do it, and do it right now. All right. Dawn. Oh, go ahead, Eric. Eric, Jesus, Ryan.
You. I'm gonna smack you.
He really just did that.
Sorry to cut you off, Dawn, but I just wanted to update our listeners on the breaking news we had throughout the podcast. Tampa Bay Lightning players have confirmed Ben Bishop did not have to poop. So apparently he is legitimately injured. Which, if he's legitimately injured from Tampa Bay Lightning, that's really bad. Because
that's not going to be good for you.
It just so happens the guy who won tonight, that was his first career playoff win. So in the Stanley Cup final, nonetheless. So yeah, they're in trouble.
Yeah, indeed. Are they in more or less trouble than the Cleveland Cavaliers now that they have lost Kyrie Irving?
I think once Cleveland lost that first game and then lost Kyrie, the series is over.
I had them winning in 6.
Real quick before because I don't want to get too deep into this because I do want to do Dawn's segment at some point in time tonight. LeBron James is not going to shoot 50% every game. He's not going to be that good. If he is, they have a shot. But I cannot imagine Cleveland relying on LeBron James to be that good. And the supporting cast around him is going to have to be even better than they already were. And I don't think. And not to mention, Steph Curry is not, like, in the first quarter of that game, I'm not sure if you watched the whole game, John.
I did.
But Steph Curry was not very good in the first quarter.
No.
Cleveland took off. The backups came in for Golden State. Golden State caught up. And then as the game went on, not Kyrie, Steph Curry got hot and got hotter, ended up with like 26 points, and really kind of took the game over. But if Steph Curry shows up for game 2 on Sunday night and just blows the doors off the place, there's not much Cleveland can do.
No, especially if Cleveland goes down 2-0, it's over.
The one thing I tell Lewis is that I feel like Steph Curry, if you put a blindfold on him, he can make a shot from anywhere on the court. You just spin him around and he'll just throw the ball up, and it doesn't even matter if his back's to the net. He'll make it every time.
Well, you got to give them props. It's kind of like Moneyball for basketball with that team. The way that they have built it. And I was actually telling Dawn this during the game because she noticed that there was a lot of 3-point shots being taken and everything, and that's how the Golden State Warriors built their team, is based on the analytics of shooting and things like that, getting a lot of high percentage shot players on the team, and that's why they're the highest scoring team in the league. That's why they won the most games in the league, and that's why they are in position, honestly, to cruise through the rest of it.
Well, I was going to let you finish, but long story short, I do believe, looking back on it now, that Steve Curry made the right decision to back out of the Knicks job.
He did.
Absolutely.
He did. Knicks fans are going to hate him for
because he's a couple days away from hoisting the whatever they call the NBA trophy. The NBA trophy.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's not cool like the Stanley Cup. They didn't have an awesome name, I don't think.
Yes, no.
It probably does. I do apologize. I'll figure it out.
Yes. All right, Dawn, are you ready, baby?
I am ready.
All right, Dawn's news we may or may not be able to use. Go ahead, Dawn. The stage is yours again.
This one I don't want to say I'm excited about, but it's nice to be able to actually bring a news story that's a little closer to home, because generally the news stories I do tend to be down south or sometimes out west. Very rarely.
Thank you, Florida.
Do they actually take place around us?
Okay.
This one actually comes right from Syracuse, New York.
Well, what'd you do, Syracuse?
Not far from here. A couple from Syracuse, New York went to the emergency room.
Okay.
In a very embarrassing position.
Oh, Jesus.
After mistaking a bottle of industrial strength super glue for lube. Oops. It does say the couple noticed their mistake barely 30 seconds later, but it was already too late, unfortunately.
So they used super glue.
And not just super glue, industrial strength super glue. It doesn't say what they lubed, or, it doesn't give the specifics, so, I don't know. But an 83-year-old woman apparently was in the emergency room when the couple was brought in.
God.
So she's quoted here as saying, "They're nothing but a bunch of perverted exhibitionists."
Old people.
Everybody was disgusting taking pictures of them.
Wow. Thank you, Syracuse. Thank you, Syracuse.
That's the perfect time for a selfie. If you're in the emergency room and someone shows up, they're like stuck together, whatever position it is, I would be like, Snapchat, what's up? You know.
It's like the human centipede.
It does say, too, it took actually a very complex and delicate 3-hour surgery to separate the couple, who thankfully has no lasting effects.
Except some weird scars from super glue.
Right. I mean, hers you would probably never see. His?
Wow. How do you make that mistake?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I can't think I've ever been that in the heat of the moment like that. I'm trying to figure out the way to say it. That much in the heat of the moment where I'm like, you grab something, you're like, I don't care, let's just use it.
Baby, get the lube. Where is it?
And why would you have super
right here? I got it.
Apparently, the guy's some kind of like an artist, or the couple's some kind of.
But why
artist.
would you? I mean, maybe they weren't in their bedroom. But if you're in your bedroom, why would you have like an American Pie when it happened?
Maybe it was like on the art desk, but still, like if you use super glue, I can't imagine that the bottles are that close. I'd like to see a picture of both the bottles because I can't imagine they were that close. The couple refused to go on camera or on record at all and make a comment about
I can't imagine why.
I'm sure they were quite embarrassed. Yeah.
And you know, this brings me to another story about love.
Okay.
I'm sure it's about
few
love.
things sadder.
I feel the love.
There's few things sadder than the death of your significant other, right?
Yes,
I mean,
right.
it's a devastating loss.
Yeah.
It leaves
To most people, just not certain masked midgets out in Buffalo. Bang, bang, mother effer.
It leaves. You know, I'm trying to tell a heartfelt story.
I'm sorry.
She's getting deep, and you're just over here shooting it up.
I'm trying not to shed a tear right now.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm bringing it back down.
So it can be devastating, and it leaves many people trying to find ways to keep the person's memory alive.
Okay.
Well, a designer by the name of Mark Sturkenboom.
That's a good start.
Sturkenboom.
Hopes that his invention will be just what you're looking for.
Okay.
You can now have some of your significant other, your lover's ashes, placed in a small gold-plated urn, which is then fitted into a dildo, thus allowing you to remain intimate with your lover forever.
I have been waiting for this.
Because really, what do you miss more?
John, it's like that conversation we had before the podcast with my lady friend in Buffalo who asked her friend who was talking to a guy. She said, "Oh yeah, he works at a funeral home." My friend said, "Well, does he sleep with any of the dead bodies?" Just some stupid questions like that.
Oh Lord!
But yeah, I couldn't imagine like
Jesus
putting
Christ.
someone else's ashes inside of you. That's a new level of messed up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That.
Well, it's one way to stay close.
Yeah,
that might be too close.
Feel intimate with the person.
That's
right?
true.
Let's really hope you don't get too crazy and break that thing open while it's inside of you.
What if
get ashes all over the goddamn place?
I think that'd be the least your words at that point.
Would it be any more messed up than putting, let's just say, ashes inside of a vajankle and using that?
Yeah, I think that would be.
I think the gold plated ashes dildo is one of those things that kind of fits in one of the old all-ins where we talked about like sticking things up holes. And
right?
yes.
And
indeed.
what I really like is the box actually comes equipped to be able to play like music.
Gold-plated ash-filled dildo
that you have with your significant.
That
you know what? I'm
name alone
I'm going to. Sorry, John. I'm going to just put this out here right now. I feel like as a guest on the podcast, I have the power to do this.
Okay.
But I feel like maybe the second member of the Get Ready America Hall of Fame may be the gold-plated ashes dildo.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking.
And I'm saying that because
the name alone brings
it rolls right off the tongue.
Unhinges the jaw.
It rolls right off the tongue.
Needless to say, that's
I do want to give credit. Actually, a good friend of mine sent me that story, which I very much appreciate. Ryan has sent me stories. Different people send me stories sometimes.
I appreciate
Any of our listeners,
the Gear Girl.
You're always welcome to send me a story. Just, do so. Well, I don't want to say privately because I don't want you guys sending me like weird messages.
I don't want to put on Dawn's Facebook page like dude snaps penis in half, and then people be like, "What's up with this story?" on your Facebook, like your family's like, "What's up with this stuff?" They don't need to know.
Hit me up on Twitter.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so then this story comes straight out of Jacksonville, Florida, because
thank you, Florida.
What news segment is complete without a Florida story?
All right.
So Tita and Amanda Watts were arrested for selling golden tickets to heaven.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have heard this story. They sold tickets on the street, $99 a ticket, telling buyers that the tickets were made from solid gold and reserved them a spot in heaven. All they had to do was just give it over to whoever, I don't know, the keeper of the golden gates to get into heaven are. Well, a Jacksonville police officer was actually quoted as saying, people can sell tickets to heaven. That's not the problem. But they were selling wood with gold spray paint that said in marker, ticket to heaven, admit 1. And you cannot sell something saying it's gold when it's actually
but you can sell a ticket to heaven.
Right,
I'll tell you what, look at this goddamn ticket I got in heaven.
Right, so apparently I can go to Florida with some wooden signs and be like, this is a wooden sign, good to get you into heaven.
Hey, well, you know what?
And that's fine.
I heard that that a candidate for the mayor of Lake Wales put all his campaign signs in wooden. That's another shoot. Bang, bang, mother effer.
Now, I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Police confiscated $10,000 in cash. 5 crack pipes.
Wait, people actually bought this?
5 crack pipes.
John, it's the South.
And a baby alligator.
A baby alligator?
But
nothing says the South like an alligator.
The most surprising thing of this whole story is the fact that they sold $10,000 worth.
Well, right? I mean, really? And people actually bought this wood with spray paint with markers. I mean, wow! Thank you, Florida.
You got to think about it. People down south. I'm not trying to be an a-hole here, but and I'm trying to not curse because I don't know the cursing rules here.
The curse, it's whatever.
Okay,
whatever you hear on Mike O'Mara.
I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but
yes, you can do that.
People down south aren't the brightest. So
no, I
feel like if you could sell them, anything, as long as you can convince them that it is good for them or will do something good for them, they'll do it.
I'm still laughing at the name of that dildo.
I do just want to share. I don't know, these quotes today for these news stories are they're too funny. So Tito Watts actually said in his, not a quote, but his police statement, I don't care what the police say. The tickets are solid gold. It ain't cut up 2x4s. I spray painted gold. And it was Jesus who gave them to me behind the KFC and said to sell them so I could get me some money to go to outer space. I met an alien named Stevie who said if I got the cash together...
Was he blind?
He'd take me... he'd take me and my wife on his flying saucer to his planet that's made entirely of crack cocaine. You can smoke all the crack cocaine here you want, totally free. So try to send an innocent man to jail and see what happens.
He's innocent.
Yeah, you should arrest Jesus because he's the one that gave me the golden tickets and said to sell them. I'm willing to wear a wire and set Jesus up.
I'm willing to wear a wire and set Jesus up.
Yep. And Amanda Watts says, we just wanted to leave Earth and go to space and smoke rock cocaine. I didn't do nothing. Tito sold the golden tickets to heaven. I just watched.
Jesus Christ. Literally.
What is wrong with that dude's face?
That is actual text. That's what they said.
That is what they said in their statement.
Oh my God.
You couldn't write anything better than that.
That's amazing. That is amazing on so many different levels.
I want to bring a story to both of yours attention.
Please. Go ahead.
Because I peruse Twitter a lot, so I did see the story come across the tweetbot machine.
Oh, God.
In Portland, Oregon.
Oh, hello, Portland.
A man was pleasuring himself inside a portable toilet when homeless individuals in the area knocked the toilet over after he refused to stop. It all started at 8 a.m. Thursday at the East Bank Esplanade at the foot of the Hawthorne Bridge. Portland police say a 48-year-old homeless man was pleasuring himself inside a portable toilet with the door open.
Okay.
Quote, he was flashing us over and over again, and we asked him multiple times and told him to stop, and he wouldn't, a homeless woman said. Our friend thought it would be funny to get up and jump behind the porta potty and kick it. Now, because the man was covered in crap and pee, they didn't arrest him, so I guess it's his lucky day. But the...
Did they pull him out of the game and go to the, like in the Stanley
They
Cup?
they just said physically he's fine, but he had a crappy day. That's hilarious. That's what the cops said. Goodness.
Oh, boy.
Ryan, you obviously Eric's your brother, and
yes.
I assume growing up you guys did a lot of dares, right? Dared each other to do
enough,
things,
yeah.
right?
You probably still do.
Well, here's one for you. If you ever happen to go to Las Vegas, or I guess you could really do it anywhere. It doesn't have to be the desert. A group of hikers found an unusual discovery just outside Las Vegas. Uh-oh. They came across a man buried up to his head in the desert.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So they said they heard this weird howling sound. They saw the guy buried to his head. The kind of weird thing is they said he was meowing like a cat. I'm not really sure, but whatever. So the hikers quickly dug him out, unbound his hands, gave him some water, energy bars, called the authorities. Well, apparently, the really strange part of this is that this man whose name is Todd Williams actually was buried on a dare. He bet his brother $10 million that he could spend a month buried up to his head in the Nevada desert without food and water. And apparently his brother was just willing to let him out there for a month. So,
oh my God.
That's
right.
dumb.
That's all sorts of
now
dumb.
He says I owe my brother $10 million now, which blows because I don't have $10 million, so I'm going to have to make payment.
He better talk to Jesus. He better talk to Jesus or Stevie the alien to get some of that crack cocaine.
The crack rock Jesus.
The crack rock Jesus.
So if you guys really want to take your dares to the next level, there you go.
Now that you've got me on the topic, I'm just perusing through the weird stories
Jesus.
here. Florida man.
Thank you, Florida.
A Florida man was arrested Wednesday after police say he made several 911 calls in which he hit on a dispatcher and bragged about his, quote, big muscles. Police say the man told the dispatcher about his big muscles before asking if she was single. Dispatcher disconnected the call, and the man called back 2 more times asking again if she was single. Apparently, they found him with an open beer can lying in a tent, and he was arrested.
Okay.
And then he told the officer he wanted to headbutt him and kill him.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
Clearly, Florida is full of morons.
Yeah.
Thank you, Florida.
Yeah. Florida, you're stupid.
Okay.
That's
That was
all
it?
I have for the news today.
That was it. All right. Well, then with that, we will go ahead and cue the music. I'm still laughing at the name of that golden dildo.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna get you a Vagankle. We'll spray paint it gold, and we'll get one of the golden ash dead people dildo, and we'll put it in your basement too. We'll just have a Hall of Fame.
But
remember how I told you the wall was the future? The wall in the basement is the future.
Right.
We'll put the Vagankle and the dead person dildo on the wall.
Well, could you at least write in marker "Ticket to Heaven" on one of those things?
I would actually, you know what I might do? I may actually cut out a piece of wood, spray paint it gold, and give it to you as a ticket to heaven.
That would be amazing.
Just make sure you write in marker.
It's gotta be.
I'll even make 2 with a number 2.
That's stories. I'm going to be laughing. I'm going to be listening to this over and over and over and laughing at those specific, especially the text that you read so eloquently, Don. I got to say, if there was an Academy Award for podcasting, I think you would get it for that performance right there. I'll tell you, I was hooked. The things that she brings to this podcast with those stories, it's got to be Dawn. And sorry to cut you off, John. It's got to be Dawn because two of those stories I read on Twitter during the week. And I'm like, those are really good. Like, those are great stories. And Dawn, I'm just like, Dawn tells me I to lose it. I legit, I do not want to hear anything before the podcast because I want the natural reaction. Yeah. And I get that, and I'm very happy. So, Ryan, thank you for joining us here this week. Thank you for having me. Follow me on Twitter at Wolfe E with an E, Wolfe SHC. And Better Live Than Dead at BLTD Podcast, Facebook.com/BLTD Podcast. Oh, and hey, you can listen to Better Live Than Dead on the Gear Radio Network as well. Yes, you can listen on this very network. You can hear it. So, yes, Ryan, that seat, you can come on whenever you want. So I will come in your basement whenever I want to, John.
Okay, slow down. You're not coming.
I knew he was all sorts of thrilled about those stories you told.
Especially not in the damn Red Sox.
John did tell me I could come in the basement whenever I wanted to.
No Red Sox fans coming in my basement.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, Don, and thank you, Don. Thank you, Don, as always, for your contributions.
I will be back soon.
This is a copyrighted podcast of the Gear Radio Networks, and any rebroadcast or reproduction without the express written permission of the Gear Radio Networks is strictly prohibited. Better Live Than Dead is going to be coming at you later on this week because this episode airs after the one you're going to be sending me tonight or tomorrow. See, you air first.
We're in the future, in the past, in the present, future, past,
right.
Present, future.
You see how that works?
Yeah.
House Party Podcast. Get Ready America. Talking wrestling, not this week, but next week, or whenever the hell Money in the Bank airs. After that, there'll be another Talking Wrestling episode, so we are good. Dawn, thank you again. Ryan, thank you again. So long, everybody.
Good night now.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.